All right, we are going to be continuing our reading of the Sutra that we were reading already, the incomplete Sutra of Manichaeism. We'll be picking up right where we left off, so here we go. Listen attentively. The wise messenger, representing Huiming, enters this world and overturns the city, reshaping the settlements, destroying dilapidated houses, and reaching the demon's palace. The greedy demons, being overthrown, construct a new, impure city due to their own ignorance and foolishness, indulging in the five desires. At times, the pure and courageous sons of the majestic saint, symbolizing the white doves, enter this city. They look around and see only smoke and mist, encircling and distorting the surroundings, with countless settlements. After seeing this, they gradually proceed and reach the city's top, where they look down and see 7 precious jewels. Each jewel is priceless but covered in impurities. At this moment, the wise messenger takes fertile soil and plants the supreme seeds of luminous and unsurpassed nature. They also manifest various forms and precious treasures for their own enrichment and to benefit others, bringing about great welfare and generating complete adornments within the inner nature, serving as pillars for the true and authentic seeds. By relying on these pillars, the fivefold darkness of ignorance and abyss is eliminated. Resembling a great world, the wise messenger skillfully cultivates the 5 sons of pure wind as pillars, dependent on the 5 luminous bodies. Then, the wise messenger, being skilled like an expert farmer, levels and fills the rough 5 regions created by evil ignorance. First, they remove thorns and poisonous grasses by burning them with fire. Next, they should exterminate the 5 types of poisonous trees in order. Once the 5 dark regions are leveled and annihilated, they establish palaces and various chambers for the new person. They plant various fragrant flowers and precious trees in their gardens. Afterwards, they adorn their own palaces, thrones, platforms, and chambers, resembling countless followers on the left and right. They build palaces for them as well. The wise messenger establishes all these accomplishments with their own divine power. They transform the poisonous and evil dark regions, causing them to overturn. As a result, the 5 pure bodies of luminous nature gradually expand. These 5 bodies are form, mind, thought, contemplation, and intention. At this time, the wise messenger plants 5 kinds of luminous and renowned supreme trees on the 5 pure and elevated grounds. They then light 5 lamps of constant luminosity on the 5 luminous platforms. Once the 5 offerings are made, the wise messenger first drives away the dark aspects of ignorance, uproots the 5 types of poisonous and dead trees. The root of these trees represents aversion. The stem represents anger, the branches represent hatred, the leaves represent resentment, the fruits represent discord, the taste represents bitterness, and the color represents contempt. Next, they drive away the dark mind of ignorance and uproot the dead trees. The root of these trees represents lack of trust. The stem represents forgetfulness. The branches represent flattery. The leaves represent obstinacy. The fruits represent craving. The taste represents greed. And the color represents avoidance. Then they drive away the dark thought of ignorance and uproot the dead trees. The root of these trees represents lust. The stem represents laziness. The branches represent stubbornness. The leaves represent attachment. The fruits represent ridicule. The taste represents desire, and the color represents lust and impure actions. They teach first and then eradicate the dark thought. After that, they drive away the dark intention of ignorance and uproot the dead trees. The root of these trees represents anger. The stem represents foolishness. The branches represent lack of trust. The leaves represent clumsiness. The fruits represent arrogance. The taste represents conceit, and the color represents disrespect. Lastly, they drive away the dark mind of ignorance and uproot the dead trees. The root of these trees represents foolishness. The stem represents forgetfulness. The branches represent flattery. The leaves represent self-importance. The fruits represent surpassing others. The adornments represent vanity. The taste represents indulgence, and the color represents attachment. They adorn themselves with ornaments such as the necklaces of pearls and various precious treasures representing attachment. They indulge in various tastes and nourish the physical body with different foods and drinks. These trees are called dead trees, and the greedy demons diligently plant and cultivate them within the dark cave of ignorance. Sorry, just a moment. At this time, the wise messenger wields the axe of wisdom and swiftly and skillfully cuts down the trees. They then plant the 5 supreme trees of pure and luminous nature in their original ground. They sprinkle the trees with the nectar of sweet dew, and they bear celestial fruits. First, they plant the tree of appearance, whose root represents compassion. The stem represents happiness, the branches represent joy, the leaves represent harmony, the fruits represent peace, the taste represents prudence, and the color represents stability. Next, they plant the tree of pure and wonderful mind, whose root represents sincerity, the stem represents faith, the branches represent fear, the leaves represent vigilance, the fruits represent diligent learning, the taste represents recitation, and the color represents contentment. Then they plant the tree of contemplation, whose root represents completeness, the stem represents good intentions, the branches represent dignity, the leaves represent truthfulness, the fruits represent noble actions, the taste represents adherence to precepts, and the color represents joy. After that, they plant the tree of thought, whose root represents patience, the stem represents tranquility, the branches represent endurance, the leaves represent observance of discipline, the fruits represent praising fasting, the taste represents diligent cultivation, and the color represents diligence. Lastly, they plant the tree of intention, whose root represents wisdom, the stem represents understanding the 2 doctrines, the branches represent eloquence in expounding the Dharma, the leaves represent skillful means in discerning faculties, capable of eradicating wrong views and upholding the correct teachings. The fruits represent skillful questioning and answering, adapting to different situations and skillfully explaining. The taste represents skill in using similes to make others understand, and the color represents gentle and persuasive speech, pleasing and delighting the masses. These trees are called living trees. The wise messenger, using the sweet tree, plants it in the exquisite palaces, thrones, gardens, and observatories of the subtle and magnificent city. They plant it on the ground of the 5 regions of self-nature. The king in this realm represents compassion, and this compassionate king is the origin of all virtues. Like the brightest among the radiant suns and the most respected among the countless stars, they are like a king's crown, the most splendid adornment. They are also like trees, bearing the best fruits. Likewise, in the dark body of ignorance, the wise messenger reveals unparalleled beauty, like pure salt that adds flavor to all exquisite dishes. They are like a king's seal, which everyone follows. They are like the moon or a precious pearl, the foremost among all treasures. They are like lime, which solidifies and whitens whatever it is applied to. They are like palaces that become splendid because of the presence of a king. In the same way, the compassionate one is as described. When there is compassion, there are virtuous teachings. Without compassion, all cultivation of virtues remains incomplete. Due to this reason, they are called kings. Within this compassion, there is also sincerity. Sincerity is the mother of all virtues. Like a queen who assists the king in nurturing everything, it is like the force of fire that ripens all things and provides flavors. It is like the sun and the moon, the most honored among all images, spreading light and benefiting all. Compassion and sincerity accomplish and perfect all virtues. They are also the basis of past and future saints, and the luminous causes and foundations that can be observed through the gate of wonders. They are also the narrow path in the vast ocean of afflictions within the 3 realms. Among the multitude, there are few who can enter this path. If someone enters it, relying on this path, they will be born in a pure land, free from suffering and ultimately fearless, joyful, and pure. Sorry, just a moment. Okay. Sorry about that. Furthermore, the wise messenger manifests the 3 great luminous suns in the dark body of the demons, dispelling the 2 types of dark nights, resembling the supreme luminous experiences. The first sun is Huiming, and the 12 divisions of time represent the 12 great victorious kings. They are like the unsurpassed luminous realm, complete with Huiming as the first day, and the 12 great kings as the 12 divisions of time. The second sun represents the pure seed of the new person, and the 12 divisions of time represent the 12 transformation of the kings. It also represents the beautiful robes bestowed upon the luminous nature. Through these robes, the inner nature becomes adorned and one is uplifted and progresses, forever leaving behind the impure realm. The day of the new person represents the vast and splendid Asura named Shun Ruo Sha Luo Yi, and the 12 divisions of time represent the initial thoughts and the 5 sons of pure wind, along with Kuo Lu Se De Lu De, which together form the 13 luminous bodies, completing one day. The third sun represents listening and responding, and the 12 divisions of time represent the subtle aspects of appearance, mind, thought, contemplation, and intention, along with compassion, sincerity, completeness, patience, and wisdom. These represent the responsive manifestations. The fourth sun represents the grand sun in the great realm, and the 12 divisions of time represent the 12 female transformations of the sun palace. The radiance of light is complete, forming one day. Just a moment. Sorry. Alright, I am going to have to call it here and end this video here, unfortunately. I know this is definitely, there's no way this is not shorter than the last one. But I'm extremely tired because I've been working for at least 10 hours. So I'm going to end this here. And then we will pick this up in the next video next week. So if you have any questions regarding the Manichaean scriptures, if you wish to convert, or if you're simply interested in the Ekklesia of Light, feel free to contact us. May the Father bless you. Amen.